Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's TG. Yeah, it is TGIF. Today is Friday. So the week has blown by. Kind of nice, kind of interesting. As you can see, we start off, we got the Swiss against the dollar up there just to get a flavor of what the action in the dollar today. That's exactly the best way of looking at it. It has been interesting to see the euro show a little bit more life, but today it's playing with the daily sell. Last time I saw it, the stock indices are kind of flattish. March job reports are coming out as we speak, and U.S. stock market Dow Jones Industrial Average is up like 167. We've got the S&P 500 up 20 points, and the Tech 100 up 73 points. Overall, just kind of like a quiet start, because up 168 points is only half a percentage point. Up 76 or 73 points is only a half a percentage point on the Tech 100, and the 21 points up on the S&P 500 is only up like under it's about a little less than a half a percentage point. So the markets are not really going anywhere in particular at the moment. They're just kind of chill, I guess you could say, and you're not seeing too much activity from the news. Let's see, 431,000 jobs added in March. They were. I'm not seeing what they said. What the projection was. I think it was in the 430s or something like that. So, labor participation rate at 62.4. Unemployment rates at 3.6. Just nothing really shaking the markets up. Let's say, at the moment. And you can see there on the screen. Oh, let's fix that. There we are. We got to fix that. Move that over like so. And then move that over like so. There we are. And as you can see right there, let's widen that out. Where are we widening out? Right there. You can see, it's up, and our daily is fighting the climb, but it still hasn't done it. It's been in the daily sales frontier, and you can see here they're flirting very aggressively to be in the weekly sell today. Overall, the markets have been, I want to say they've been relatively docile, really. I hear talking heads say odd things like, markets are rallying, or, something of that nature. But they really are not. They're just kind of quiet, or they're selling off. Like this morning, they say, and they're rallying. It's like, no, that's not really a rally. It's just background noise at this point. Let's see, right there. Not that. Which one does it? That one, maybe? That one right there. There we go. So you can see here, we're flirting with the weekly sell right there. You can see that, and we're putting that in there right there. And you can see on the J4X, you can see the pressure with all the red hinky daily bars, just a couple greens, and then more red again. And you can see here the white line piercing below, and we've got that little peak action we've talked about a couple days ago on the volume. So it's not really jumping out at us and screaming and saying, hey, we're an active market. If anything, the market's been really, to a great extent. I mean, we saw the indices drop, I guess you could say, over the last month and a half, 2 months, two and a half months, something like that, since the beginning of the year. And they dropped, 10%, 14, 15%, things like that. And now they're only down about 3 to 8%, something like that, right around there. Maybe 4 to 8%. So we're really not, in these times, I really try to emphasize that we're just not really seeing the wild action that the way the financial community tries to report it on the TV. I mean, we're rallying. It's up less than a half a percentage point. That's a rally? That's not a rally. That's literally noise. So, all right. Let's get back to the two pairs trades. You can see them there. Looks like we will with a good chance we may close in a weekly sell here. And that will be kind of trying to kind of exemplifying the fact that maybe the dollar will show some more weakness. Maybe that's the answer to it at the moment. And if so, then that's what it'll be. Weakness. Let's take a look at the euro. I don't see any questions, so that's okay. Not missing anything. I think everybody's had enough fun for the week, probably. Let's just double check. I'm just going to double check the chat line there one more time. Is it trade? Yeah, trade. Let's just make sure it's not doing anything that I'm not expecting. Here it comes. We're opening up.
I get further and further in. By the time I hit the 90 days, I had lost right at 30 pounds. My
opening up.
I get further and further in. By the time
I don't see anything on the chat line, so it's not too bad.
Right at 30 pounds.
Right.
My jeans.
Opening up. All right, from there.
I get further and further in. By the time
I don't see anything on the chat line. So swing over to the euro. Let's see what the euro's doing this morning. Like I said, I sent it out this morning. It had a little red thing kicking out. Hey, there it is now, too. You can see it on the J4X. And the white line is piercing the dash line.
I sent it out this morning.
And that peak, very clear. It picked out the bottom of this line is piercing. Or I guess it's it picked out the bottom right there. And it ran up.
It picked out the.
And we're still watching this volume thing from Kelly. And we'll see if we can learn some more from it.
Picked out the bottom right there.
Let's put it over on Chicago. We're still watching this volume thing from Kelly, and we'll see if we can learn some more from it. And there's the euro there. You see, we are pressing down through the zero line there. And it's still in that weekly sell, as much as they tried to lift it up over these last couple of days. You see, we are pressing just when we saw it go into that. We saw this moving up much stronger in the beginning of the week, and we thought, oh, maybe this thing's going to get in the weekly buy finally.
We saw it go into that.
And here we are on Friday, and instead it's trying to go into a sell.
Maybe this thing's going to get.
Hey, Mike, how you doing? I really like that yellow dotted line indicator, but I cannot find it in my J4X. Is it public? Yes, it is. Here, I'll show it to you.
I like that yellow dotted line indicator,
Right
but
click
I
on
cannot
it.
find it.
See where it says stochastic?
Yes, it is.
That's what it is. It's stochastic 5.3 SMA 3, and let's show you
Click on it.
a little bit more.
See where it says.
So what it is it's the
That's what it is. It's stochastic 5.3 SMA.
it is the slow D. See that there? We're using a 3.
It's the.
And what else can we say?
It is the.
Let's go back to here again. And this is the slow.
It's the.
See if we can get the name to jump out.
Let's go back to here again.
And this is the. See where it says there? It's the slow. No, it says slow. Yeah, slow. Slow D.
And this is
Let's
the.
see if I can get
It's the slow.
See, when we hit add indicator, slow D. Let's see if we can spot the.
See if I can get.
It's a stochastic. Let's cancel that.
When we hit add indicator,
We'll see what happens when we do the white line. The white line is stochastic F.
When we hit
I guess that's what it is. Stochastic.
We'll see what happens
F.
when we do the white line.
So then when we go like that, it's the stochastic. I guess it's a regular stochastic, and then what I did is I just highlight,
when we go like that,
as you can see.
I guess it's a regular stoke.
Let's just show you again here, the output.
And then what I
The only thing I'm not showing you is the slow K in there,
highlight
just the slow D. How's that? Did that help out? Let's just show you again here, the output. There's some microphone effect going on with your audio.
Just the slow D.
Robin, can you hear me?
Did that help out?
Can you hear me, Robin?
The output.
There's some
microphone
effect
going on with your.
Say again?
Just the slow D.
Robin, can you hear me?
Did that help out?
Can you hear me, Robin? Oh, really? All right, let me kill it. Hold on a second. Let's
Say
see if
again?
we can kill it. Don't go anywhere.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Robin?
Oh, really?
See,
All right,
where
let me
would that
kill
be
it.
coming from?
Hold on a
Let me think
second.
which computer.
Oh, I see what it is. I see. How
Don't go
about
anywhere.
right now? Now it's cleaned up, isn't it? It's gone now. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Thank you. Glad you picked it up. So There you go. So let's see. Did you hear what I was saying? Maybe I screwed it up. So I'm just going to go one more time with you since what happened is it was picking up me speaking a second time. That was what the background noise was. So this is a regular stochastic, and we just emphasize the slow D on it, whereas the white is a fast stochastic, stoch F, and let's see what we can do. We'll show it to you there. And we emphasize the slow D on that too. I'm sorry, the fast D on that. The white is the fast D, and that's a fast stochastic F, and the line. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Let's do this. What did I do? Let's turn that off. Did I just? There we are. I think it's supposed to be 3 too. I don't think it's supposed to be 1. Let me just edit it again. Output. Okay, yeah, there it is, 3. Okay. So does that must help out? Yeah. So you can identify it by going into J4X and putting the fast stochastic up overlaid on the on the regular stochastic, but they're both D. There we go. Take a sip of tea from there. All right. So we can see that pressure on the euro. You see it's pressing down. It's at the top of the range. And you can see over in Chicago Quant, same situation. It's pressing down, breaking the zero line. So the issues right now is, also you can see there's a red dot there also. So, I guess there is talk of some type of counteroffense by the Russians in Ukraine, so that may be putting some pressure. I've been hearing that for like the last 12 hours. So that might be putting some pressure on the euro again. Good. That's good, Mike. All right, from there we're going to jump over to the British pound. Right there. You can see that's really plateaued. It's trying to lift. And let's just check it out on J4X here. I mean, on Chicago Quant. Okay, there you go. So it looks like it's definitely getting into the buy today. What do we got there? So it's saying yesterday it went into the buy. And it seems to be holding up. Like that. There we are. It's holding up. And it hasn't gone minus, but they're putting some pressure on it as we speak right there. Wonder if we got the, what was it, the 131.85, I think it was Kelly or someone like that was playing for it. Someone yesterday was doing, no, I know, it was something Mar Choice, something like that. I forget who it was. Mar Choice? Something like that. Yeah, the cable, there's a lot of issues everywhere on this world at the moment. So it doesn't surprise me any that we see pressure like that on the markets, but overall they're just hanging on the bottom end of the range, really. I mean, like when I look, at first I want to say, oh yeah, something's brewing there, but then I look at it and I go, it's sitting on the black line. It's just hanging there on the bottom end of the range. And I guess if they could resolve the Ukraine situation, the market would probably lift back up in those currencies. Instead, they're going to lean into the dollar because it's the safe haven at the moment. No one knows, anywhere to go but the safe haven. That seems to be always the recipe in the end, All right. From there, let's see. From there, we go over to the Turkish Lira. See what the Turkish Lira is doing. Let me look at today, since it's quiet, we'll go back through our rhythm. Yesterday was fun. I like the idea of just talking about different products, exploring new ideas. So you can see there the dollar Turkish Lira, which has been moving down for a couple of days, is trying to pop back up again. You can see the white line piercing through. And then let's see what it does on the Chicago Quant. Right there. Just banging at the top end of our new range right there. It's nice that it has a range. You know, and we keep on thinking that it'll come down and challenge this area again. I imagine after the Ukraine situation plays itself out, it will. You can see here it's playing with the daily buy there today. What else? The weekly is staying above with no problem. And then we'll jump over to the Euro Turkish Lira. Right there. Same situation. And it's been in a buy for 3 days. And it's holding up in that weekly buy for a fourth week. Mike says, could we look at possibly identify long entries on gold and NASDAQ? Sure. Like I said, I love it when people ask questions. All right, so what was the first one? Gold, right? Let's take a look at gold. We have the June contract up there at the moment. And it just seems like it's just kind of puttering along. I think it settled at 43 last night, and the low today was like 28. So they really put some pressure on it at one point today. It seems like it's coming back a little bit. There's that. There was the last long-term in this right here. This green line was the last long-term indication that it was, you know, going to go up in value. And that was back in early February in the 18 and change area, and it ran up to almost 2100. Let's go back and see if there's anything else going on there. There was a sell there, but it only lasted 2 weeks. Went into the weekly sell in this particular week right there and did very poorly. And then after 3 days, it went into a daily buy and got you out of the trade, kept you neutral for the big run. So what we have to do is we have to wait for, you know, another signal really to be able to say, okay, you know, this is possibly, you know, long term. Now we can go over to J4X and we can scrunch it up and put a weekly in there or a monthly. Let's put a monthly in there to get a nice long term view of the trading that's going on. Hey Cal, I think I missed the euro. There was something weird with the mic on the beginning. Yeah, I accidentally had another. I had Dukascopy on the same machine. I didn't realize it. I couldn't hear it because the speaker's off. So here, let's show you the euro real quick, and then we'll come back to the gold for Mike. Mike's looking at. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. There's the euro right there. It's playing with a daily sell on the Chicago Quant, and it doesn't look like after all that action we saw in the beginning of the week, it looks like it's failing to get into a weekly buy. How's that? Now looking at gold, and you can see there's the monthly gold. We've been in green bars on the Hinkies for 6 months now. You can see it's been coming up slow and steadily since, what's that? February of last year. So 13 months ago. And, you know, it jumped into a buy for a little bit, fell back down again in July of 21, the summer. Made big low, and then, you know, it was doing, let's see if we can stretch that a little bit. You can see it was minus there and then jumped right back into the buy. At the moment, you can see it's trying to flirt with the monthly sell. We're underneath the line at the moment, and you can see the volume there. So, Mike, I don't really see a signal yet that something's coming, but it's getting close. Let's put it that way. Because if we get into a weekly sell, then, you know, we're going to be like, okay, you know, this is This is the action. You know what I mean? Maybe they're going to play it back down again. I have my doubts just solely because of the Ukraine situation in general. Because I think if anything is scaring anything or anyone, let's say that way, that would be it. That would really be it. Is that they would be waiting for some type of resolution to it. Now, let's see. So that's the monthly. Now let's take a look at what was the other one you asked for? Gold, was it? No, NASDAQ. So let's take a look at the Tech 100. There it is on J4X. Right there. Yeah, so you can see here we got a monthly trying to turn up at the moment. You can see we're way down at the bottom. You see that right there. And let's put it up on Chicago Quant. I know it went into the sell yesterday. We're just kind of sideways down a little bit right now. Or flat. Is it flat? Dow now is up 108. S&Ps are up 11. And the NASDAQ is up 35. When before the news came out about employment, it was at 73, 74 area. So we're taking some profits out of it. Buy the rumor, sell the news. So what we're really waiting for is to see, it doesn't look like we're going to even remotely view a weekly sell here. So we'll see how next week goes. And if we can get into a weekly sell, then maybe, it'll be the beginning of another sell-off again. We'll see. Now, when you said, let's see, let me just reread Mike Smith's thing here. Could we look at a possible identifying long entries on gold or NASDAQ? So a long entry, not necessarily a long-term entry. Okay, I interpreted that as a long-term entry, so that was my mistake. At the moment, since it's in a weekly buy, if we get into a daily buy, that would be a long entry. Same thing with, and that was the last long entry right there. That was a pretty good one. So we're in the weekly buy there, so let's see if we get into a daily buy and see how they take them from there. Let's see, what was the other one again? Gold, right? So same situation. Been in a daily sell since here. Hasn't really gone anywhere. I mean, it went down a little bit. Now it's been unchanged and just weak here again. And it's holding up pretty well here in that weekly situation. So if they bring this up over the next couple of days, maybe there'll be another long entry again in the gold. How's that? Does that answer all the questions? And we see I misinterpreted that. My bad. I was thinking you were looking at long term, not long entry. Sorry about that. All right. I hope that answered any questions there. From there, what did we were just looking at Turkish Lira, right? So let's go back to that. Oh, that's right. Now we go over to Canadian. So let's see what the CAD is doing now. There's dollar CAD. Banging against the 50 percentile of the range. Oh, no problem, Mike. I misinterpreted that. So it gave you a little magical tour even deeper than we were planning on. But that's all right. Nothing wrong with understanding the markets. Let's get it up on J4X. There it is right there. You can see the daily there is looking for trying to get into a buy, but unfortunately the weekly, as you can see over on Chicago Quant right here, let's light that up right there, it's been in a weekly sell. I really have no confidence that any real direction is clear until they resolve the Ukraine situation, and Ukraine was doing pretty well for the last couple of weeks. Let's see how they do now. They're readjusting their attack. The Russians claim they were going to regroup and so forth, and that's what they're doing. They're regrouping, and I guess they're going to try to attack again. All right. Let's see. That's CAD. So what we do is, you see when the CAD is going down like that, normally that means the energies are going up in value. Let's take a look at oil. And there's the oil. It's been, I guess it's an overall thing, like this big gain. and it's holding on in this area, but not by much, because we're down about $4 for the day, and a daily sell from here. But the weekly is still holding up. So, I mean, that weekly's been going on since late December in the 70s. I know that Mr. Biden is going to release some oil, 500,000 or 600,000 barrels a day. He came out and said he was going to release 1 million, but they don't have the ability to release 1 million a day at the moment. So it's only going to be between 500 and 600,000 barrels a day, and that'll probably cool things off a little bit. Like, it'll stop it from going up, but it probably won't really knock it down. That's the problem. That is the problem there. And then we go over to the metals complex again. And there's the gold. And you see that's in that cell, and they're pressing it down. And so, Canadian, normally would have some strength, but now that the gold is going down, it kind of starts to push it back up against the dollar. Now from there, we're going to go over to the South African rand and see what they're doing with that. That's usually a really good signal. And sure enough, yeah, that's the norm. That's what it should be doing, is going up. Because of, you can see there, it's been trying to tell us for 5 days that they were going to try to turn this, and now they're finally doing it. Let's go over to Chicago Quant and see what they're doing. Let's see. Here is right. Where is it at? It's right there. So let's oh no, I'm on the wrong one. South African rand. There it is. There it is right there. You see that bump up, in the sense of the low, but overall, it's basically unchanged. I mean, it really is. As a matter of fact, it's actually down. It's still holding down. And it's dropped even further than we were expecting, which is really nice. I mean, we'll take it. Being a bear, and it goes down, it's okay with us. We're not complaining. What is there? So in the end result, you can see the South African rand is just. Let's see, where's the sell at? Something's wrong with the dot lines. Let's move that over. That's the sell right there. And it hasn't gotten into a buy since. That was a red. Let's widen that out. Yeah, so that little bump across the zero line had a red and a green, so it couldn't put it into the buy. Now, if it had just been a green, it would have been in a buy. Now, today it's trying to get into the buy there. But again, we got another red and a green. Also, we've been in a long adventure on the downside since last year now. Since the last couple of weeks of December. And we've gone from the 1575 area, I guess you could say, down to the 1450 area. And that's the way that plays out. The South African rand, when gold is going up, it's usually moving down, and that's what we've been seeing. We've been seeing that moving down. Let's take a look at where is it at? Right. Let's see, the currency that will not be named, forcing its way into a buy today, but still in that weekly sell for a third week, and doing its best to get down to pre-war numbers right there. And then, let's see, from there we jump over to the yen. The yen's doing a little bounce after a couple of days in the sell, but we're in that weekly buy. It's awful hard for it to do anything but stay firm. So we'll see what they do with that today. If they close it right there, and then on Monday maybe they'll be taking it up even more on the yen against the dollar itself. Let's see. From there we go to the Mexican peso. still below the range. Look at that. When's the last time we saw it this low below the range? There. Back in August of last year. Played that bottom end of the range for a long while. That's something. And this sell has been going on since here. Lots of pressure there. JJ, have a nice Friday yourself. Have a safe weekend. Be safe, be smart. Welcome to next week. We're waiting now for TGIM. Thank goodness it'll be Monday. All right. From the Mexican peso, we slide over to... Where do we go from the Mexican peso? We jump back... I guess that's it. That's all the pairs that we follow. So, I mean, anybody wants to see something, just shout it out. If not, we'll go over to the... Cool. Yeah, have a safe and smart weekend. Enjoy it. We should have some decent weather. I'm going to try to get some things done as usual. I got a lot of plants in the greenhouse. I want to get them into the ground soon. We're going to start doing that over the next 3 weeks. From there, we'll go over and take a look at right here. We can go through the metals complex first. And there's gold. Now let's see what silver's doing. Last I saw silver, it was right on the edge. Okay, not anymore. It's getting pushed down again. But our weekly looks like it's going to hold up in that. And let's see what it looks like over in J4X. There it is. There it is, silver. Just slow, sloppy down, you know. Not a lot of conviction. We always talk about that conviction. You know, in other words, markets have a comfort level of buying. You know, and sometimes, when these money managers who are managing money, they have to average into them. They don't have a choice. They need to average into them. If they don't average into them, then it messes up their kind of investment philosophy. So, at the end of a month, at the beginning of a month, they're normally loading up. And then, in this case, it was kind of interesting is that the end of the quarter, yesterday was the end of the quarter for the first quarter. And they kind of sold down the stocks a little bit. I mean, the Dow was down 500 points. So you're talking about a 1.5% drop, 1.25% drop, something like that. 1.5% drop. So it was a little surprise to that, but I guess here we are at a new month. They're going to be trying to nibble away and try to buy a little bit more. They've got there's so much cash out there. These funds have a lot of dough. They need to do something. They're paid to invest, and so that is part of the whole process. Kiev hits oil depot in Russia. Wow. Oh, it's not verified. Okay, I just saw that come across the tape. So, when looking at the silver and the gold, they're just kind of sideways. I guess we can go back and talk about the inflation and say, well, we're surprised that gold is not like 2,500, and at the same time, there's a war. There's a talk of nuclear war. And gold is not at 3,000. There's a lot of rewriting of history on what we interpreted these products to be. Just like people thought that the cryptos would be like an inflation hedge and a disaster hedge. Instead, we find the product. They did run let's put it up there. They did run Bitcoin up to around 4,800 a couple days ago. Right there, and so Bitcoin went from over a couple week period from the 4,400 to almost 4,800 right there, and then they just about flirted with it again a couple days ago. But overall, that's not, I mean, look at that. There's highs there back at the beginning of the war at, was that 4,900. Same thing with the metals complex. We're really surprised that we haven't seen more buying in any of these things. It just shows you that the quantitative easing and price discovery have taken the QE has really disrupted price discovery itself. That's what it really comes down to. Price discovery is just not what it used to be, and it's all because of the QE. And so, when you look at inflation and you look at chaos in the world, we lose the price discovery, and we scratch our heads and we say, wait a minute, wasn't that supposed to do this because of that? And they don't do that at all. And people are questioning themselves about the investment process altogether anymore. Like, in other words, it's like, oh, well, maybe it's not going to be what we thought it was supposed to be. And that's a real rude awakening to a community who demands, and I emphasize the fact, when investing money, they really demand consistency and confidence, and they don't want to put capital with people that are just going to be shooting from their hip, or they're not interested in having wild participants managing money. But here we are. We're not seeing the norm, and you just have to, as we would say, you would scratch your head just saying, I don't understand. Why does it do this? Why? And it is because price discovery has been disrupted by QE. That's a pretty powerful thing. People don't realize how important price discovery is, and it's been basically eradicated. And that's really hard to deal with, because then you say, okay, what gives them confidence to invest? What gives them, and what they're doing is they're looking at earnings, and they're looking at future earnings, and then at the same time they know that the central banks are out there willing to protect them, which is not exactly price discovery. That's like a free put, like the way Turkey gives a free put out to its currency purchases, people who buy their currency. And that's a real, like I said, honestly, that's a real head shaker, I guess you'd call it. There we go. So, from there, we go over to, say, the metals complex. You see copper. You see copper from silver, and that's been working its way down. The pressure's been on that. And, that wasn't, that wasn't Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin? There's Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, I showed you copper. And Bitcoin did take out these tops from the war, which started like right here. So from this area right here, look at the first inclination too of at the invasion from Russia into Ukraine. They slammed the Bitcoin down into the 34s or 33s or something like that. Was that 34 and change? And then within a week, it was 45, and then back down again in here. And now they've driven it up into the 48 area. I knew it was 48 somewhere along the line. And then and now they've been in the sell for the last day and a half. And our weekly is holding up just fine. And look at all the noise we've had. We went into a weekly buy. We went into a sell. We went back into a weekly buy. And now, we went into a weekly sell. Now we went right back into a weekly buy 3 weeks ago. This is not, that is the least a money manager wants. They do not want inconsistency, and boy, is there so much inconsistency, which, price discovery is not what it used to be. All right, from there we zip over to Let's see what platinum's finishing off the week. Right there. That's in a weekly sell, and now they're flirting with a weekly buy. But it's not really going anywhere. So they went into the weekly sell here, and they fell down for Monday and Tuesday, and now they've popped back up again, trying to show some strength, and they're pretty much a little bit above for the week. But no, they're actually down for the week right there. You can see that. That was Friday. So they're down for the week still. But the thing is turning up. And all these things really point to an uncertain market. And that's just not good, It just isn't. All right, from there we jump over to the energy complex, and let's go and put it up on J4X. There is Brent, and you can see there Brent been moving down, still parking itself down. Maybe it'll play with the century mark again. Whereas you can see here on Chicago Quant, West Texas Intermediate is underneath $100 a barrel, $99.34 as we speak. But no real breakdown on the weekly basis. Now let's take a look at Nat Gas. There it is right there. You can see natural gas is holding up pretty well towards the highs of this last couple weeks. And you can see the weekly doesn't seem to care. It's been in a buy since late January. Now let's take a look at Nat Gas on J4X right there. It's the same contract out of the United States, and you see it's trying to turn up there. And at the same time, it's 3 green bars, and we've been a lot of, look at it here. We've been so many greens, just like J4X, and just a couple of reds. There's one red right there on ours. There's one red there on J4X. Let's see. Now let's take a look at European gas. We've noticed it was playing in the high 26s, low 27s. Let's see what they're doing with it today. It's around here somewhere. I always see Euro on there, and I go, okay, there it is. See that? Yesterday we got the dollar index on there now, so we could take a look at that. There it is. There's gas. Is it 28? No, see, it's back. It's dropping down again. So, how do you write that concept? U.S. natural gas is going up in price, which is way cheaper than European at the moment for the same cubic foot. And here we are, and we're not in the 27s. We're back into the 26s. And you can see on J4X, the white line is trying to head down very comfortably. We've got a red hinky going on. So, maybe this is the turn. Maybe again, I don't know. Yeah, it's so, we just have to follow the math. You cannot, as much as I would love to say, oh, maybe this is a good sign. I don't think anything is a good sign anymore. It's just, until we see it over like month over month, not day over day, but literally month over month. Then I'll start to believe there's a change coming. All right. From there, that's about it on the energies. So what we'll do now is we'll take a look at the stock indices. And there is the Tech 100. You can see it's trying to roll over more and more. Put it up on there. And you can see on Chicago Quant in the daily sell for a few days, just like it is on the J4X. Broke there, and we got 2 red hinkies. And same thing with Chicago Quant. Got 2 red dots. That weekly, obviously, as we said earlier to Mike Smith, not really breaking down much. So we're just kind of sitting back and waiting to see when it tries to take out the daily buy, From there, we go over to the S&P 500. There it is right there. And you can see there the weekly very firm again. We did slide into a sell yesterday. It's kind of mixed at the moment, up just about 12, 14 points. And let's see, what else can we do here? Let's put it up on J4X right there. Same situation, a couple days in a sell. And then from there, we can jump over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You see there, same situation, a couple of days in a sell. Just like here, but really not going anywhere. And the weekly's holding up very fine. And it's just one big dive, really. Yesterday they really pressed on it, but I don't know. We'll see. That's all we can ever say is we'll see. We follow the math. In the end, the math is going to be so much more accurate than anything any of us can think up logically, and that's the amazing part. Let's see what the Russell 2000 is doing. Breaking down a little bit here, but our weekly is holding up. I think we saw that when we were looking for. I should have clicked on that when I did see it. I did see the. I thought it said something like the American 2000. Let's see if we can find it again. I should have clicked on it yesterday, but we were in such a hunt to find the dollar index. I don't see it. Let's go check out the dollar index since we've seen that. Should have clicked on that yesterday. Where's that dollar index? Oh, here's the DAX, isn't it? Is that the DAX? Yeah. Here's the DAX. Let's see what the DAX looks like. DAX doing the same thing, a little breaking down. There it is. It's been breaking down from here. It gave a pop there, but it's overall just trying to break down. Then let's take a peek at the dollar index itself. Where's that at? I did see it. There it is. There's the dollar index. Trying to lift up, really. Putting pressure on itself on the upside. You see that there. And then let's go see what it looks like over here. We have the ETF. See what the ETF is doing. It's not the same thing, but it's well worth taking a quick peek at. That's why I like looking through the pairs. Yeah, closing the daily buy yesterday, still holding up pretty firm in here, and that weekly is not going away. And obviously you can see here on J4X, you know, it's got a green and it's breaking the line. It's trying to turn up today. Now, looking around from there, we're like way ahead. I kind of want to go into some short-term stuff and take a look at that. But, you know, like intraday. But does anybody want to see anything particular? You know what I might do? I might go take a look at some of those currency pairs that people like to look at. I'm curious, especially that GBP, JPY. GBP, JPY right there. You can see that went into a sell right there. And, you know, for a couple of days it was down one day. Now it's trying to perk up, but we're in a weekly buy there for 3. Where's the line at? I'll steal that one. We've been in a weekly buy for 3 weeks now. You know, since that run up. And we were in a daily buy from there. The line seemed to have disappeared. There's the daily buy right there. And then let's put the daily sell in. There we go. That's the one. Who is that? I forget who does that. Let me think. Kelly, maybe? I forget who does the GBP JPY. But it's an interesting trading. It's a interesting what they call a non-primary, major, not a major currency pairs. It's a minor currency pair. But I'll tell you, when you have two majors put together, you would think it would be considered a major. So in other words, you have British pound, which is considered a major, and you have the yen, which is considered a major. So why not the GBP JPY being a major? Let's see. And what other currency pair have we looked at of late? I think someone asked about, well, we do that one, so I see that all the time. The AUD JPY. Euro Swiss. There it is. You do the Euro Swiss. That's what it is. Okay. I forget who does the other one. Let's find Euro Swiss for you. There it is right there. Now that went into the sell there yesterday, and it's pretty much unchanged. And that weekly looks like it's not going to change course. It's went into the sell here, went down, then climbed back up as much as it gained on the downside. Then what did it do? Then it went back to unchanged, because this is the area where it's pretty much unchanged, and it's been supporting the unchanged area. That's kind of curious out of it. It's a Euro Swiss. Well, the Swiss has been consistent, but what's really surprising, what's that, 5 minute? Yeah, let's throw a 5 minute in there. Doc Math works on intraday, for example. Let's do that. Let's take a look at it. Right there it is. We'll put it in there. Euro Swiss. There it is. As you can see there, it went into the buy off of that move. Oh, that's a 15 minute. Let's put a 5 minute up in there. I like 3 minutes more. But it did. It went into the buy right there. Put a white line on these things for the time being. So it went into the buy there. Whoop. Then it went back into the sell right there. Oop. And then it didn't really go down much. And it's just trying to flirt with the daily buy again right there now. And then it went into a sell there. Went into the buy there. Let's see. Is there any good moves? There's a sell right there. That was a pretty decent one. There's the buy. That went nowhere for 2 bars. I'll tell you, I like a 3 minute more. If I'm going to use minutes, I'll use a 3 minute. That's the most I use. Or a 2 hour, one or the other. But I don't really care for either of those. Let's take a look at it on J4X. There's a 5 minute. I think the hinkies really confuse it on a short-term basis. But, so you can see here, it did go in, it's in the buy right now, and it did go up, And so it's kind of still, okay, there you go. They just generated another green with that buy that we got right here. Where's that line at? So there's our buy right there. Let's see how it treats that. Yeah, it's a good filter. I agree with you. Intraday trading. Fun times. All right. I don't have much more. Anybody else want to see anything? If not, we'll get out of here. It is a Friday. I'll just wait and see for a little bit. There we are. And we got a title. We're gonna use what we said. Price discovery influenced by QE. No problem at all. Thank you, Doc. No problem, Kelly. No problem at all. All right, traders, we're going to get out of here. We will catch you all on Monday, TGIM. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend, and we will see you on the flip side. So happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders.